feel like there's not enough hours in the day, lovely. Or maybe you feel overwhelmed, drained, and no matter how much you do, you are still behind. If that's the case, then this is the video for you, because today I'm going to share this harsh truth with you, but it's actually going to be a game changer for you, because it's not the lack of hours in the day that's the problem. What's actually the problem is your mindset. Hello, I'm Dartnell, time and energy management coach, speaker and author, and in this video today I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 toxic time mindsets that are affecting you and your success and your time management, and they're keeping you overwhelmed, they're keeping you drained, and they're keeping you stuck. I'm going to show you what those are, but I'm also going to show you how to break free. And before you dive straight in thinking that you need to use the latest productivity app or hack, or you need to improve your planning, you need to color code everything, before you even dive into that, you need to get the mindset right first. When people come into my world and start working with me, they think they need to dive straight into the practical, but it's always the mindset that we need to get right first. And in this video, I'm going to share 3 of the top ones with you and guarantee you are falling victim into one of these time mindsets. So comment below, because I would love to know which one it is for you. So let's get cracking. First up, the all or nothing mindset. Oh, this is the belief that if I can't get everything done perfectly in the way that I wanted to, or I can't give it 100%, then there's no point doing it. And this can be the biggest waste of time. Full disclosure, this was me. I've had to work so hard over the years on that all or nothing mindset, but it's really sabotaging you, and it wastes huge opportunities and windows of time that you could be using and utilizing. For example, the classic cases would be skipping a workout because you think you don't have time for a proper workout, rather than going, do you know what? Even if it's just 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it's better than nothing. So actually, sod it. Let's just get going with it. We try to look for these perfect pockets of time to do our tasks, but they don't exist. Or if they do, if something then comes up and gets in the way, then we go, oh, well, it's eating into that hour now, so there's no point. I'll wait until tomorrow. And that tomorrow never comes. Or maybe it's showing up for you, like my client who delayed getting started on a project for ages because they thought that they needed a whole afternoon to get this project tackled, whereas actually in reality, they could have done it if they just chipped away at it and maybe done it in blocks of like an hour at a time and spread it over 3 days, but they would have got it done. So in our mind, we think, well, you know, I need to do it quick. I need to do it all at once. So we look for that one big chunk of perfect time that rarely exists in our calendar. Now, this then becomes a bit of a vicious cycle, and this is where the mindset bit is huge when it comes to time management, because when you start doing this and you go, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, and you don't, that starts eroding at your self-belief. That starts chipping away at your identity of somebody who takes action. And long term, this then becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the more you think you're that type of person, well, your brain ain't going to motivate you into doing what you need to do, because, hey, you're that type of person that doesn't commit. You're that type of person that always says tomorrow. So you can see how this then becomes a bit of a vicious cycle. So what do you need instead? Well, we need to reframe it. We need to reframe it so that we understand that small, consistent actions add up into huge results. And this is something that I've talked about in previous videos, but the principles of the slight edge and the compound effect come together beautifully here, because we know that every step that we take in the right direction adds up to a positive result. And over time, the compound effects kicks in. So we might not feel like that one workout or that one extra sales call is making a difference, but over time, that is going to compound to a big result. And a motto I always say is that 50% of something is better than 100% of all. So make that your new mantra to help you get over your all or nothing mindset. Okay, so next up, number 2, the perfectionist mindset. So guilty as charged, recovering perfectionist over here. So I totally get this one. And if this is you as well, drop in the comments if so, because I would love to hear from you. This is the belief that I'm not ready yet, or it has to be perfect before I get started. And it can tip it into that all or nothing territory, but it generally affects people because they get so obsessed with it having to be exactly perfect before they get started. It then fuels that fear of failure, and we end up going from one extreme to another, where we either don't get started on anything because what's the point? It's got to be perfect to start, right? Or we get started, but we get so consumed in it being perfect that we waste so much time and energy perfecting, tweaking, tinkering, tailoring, whereas actually just sometimes done is good enough. Like, we don't have to take it like that extra mile all the time. And one of my clients fell victim to this so bad because she would do pitches for client proposals, and of course she wants to give her best, she wants to win this over as a potential client. But what she would do is she would spend so much time over preparing for that presentation, it then became an actual detriment to what she was doing because she was over preparing, because she was placing too much emphasis on it being perfect. She then spent hours, like I'm talking like 5, 6, 7 extra hours on perfecting this one presentation than she really needed, to the detriment then of other tasks, other things in her business, and also her energy. So by the time it got to the presentation, the energy was gone. She weren't feeling it. So obviously that was making a huge impact in how she was coming across. So when we actually put a limit on it and said, right, done is good enough, like let's just get it 80% perfect, not 100% perfect, she then had so much more time and energy to dedicate to the actual presentation itself, and she then started winning more clients because she wasn't over preparing and she didn't fall into this perfectionist mindset trap anymore. So it was freeing up so much time and energy. So sometimes you're wasting time because you're doing too much of something. But on the other hand, as I said, sometimes we're wasting time with our perfectionist mindset because we're just not getting started, because we're waiting for the perfect time. So what do you need to do instead? Well, you need to reframe it into progress over perfection. As I said, recovering perfectionist over here, so I know that's not always easy, and it's easier said than done. But you have to get into that frame of mind of actually there is an opportunity cost to doing what I'm doing with my time and my energy. And if I'm doing that here, I can't do this thing over there. So to get that balance so that we are moving the needle forward, actually, maybe I need to rein back the perfectionist mindset over here so I free up some time to do some other things as well. So it's creating momentum, but without getting too particular, getting too bogged down into the perfectionism of it. So having that reframe, progress over perfection, pure gold. Okay, so this one might ruffle a few feathers, so bear with me on this one, but this is the not enough hours mindset. I know you're screaming at the screen right now and you're going, Alice, but there aren't enough hours in the day. Yes, I know, I get that. There aren't. The problem is we are always going to have too much that we want to do. There's always going to be more piling on our to-do list. There's always going to be more goals that we want to tick off because you're an ambitious, busy person and that's just the way you roll. So actually, this is where prioritization comes in, and that's a video for another day. But as a time management coach, I really want to empower you to make the choices around where you're going to actually spend your time. And it also starts with your mindset that there is enough time for the things that really matter, because sometimes as well we're wasting our time on, quite frankly, the shit that doesn't even serve us. So this is why the not enough hours mindset can be such a game changer. And actually a few years ago I ran a time management course, and yes, people wanted all the practical stuff, but actually it was the mindset work that was the biggest transformation. And it probably is no surprise to you that this one, the not enough hours mindset, was the one that really got people going, oh my God, that is me and that needs to change. So how does it affect us? Well, our beliefs fuel our reality. What we think affects how we show up, what we do, how we feel about things. And as the famous saying goes, our perception is our reality. So we need to change our thoughts in order to change the world around us. So how does this affect your time? Well, if you keep repeatedly telling yourself there's not enough hours in the day, then that it's going to be so ingrained as a belief. It doesn't matter what you do, what you achieve, how well structured you become with your time, that is always going to be the reality that you feel. Your brain has this part of it called the reticular activating system, and it's kind of like the filtering system. If we took all the information on all the time, oh my God, we'd be so overloaded and bombarded more so than we already are. So the reticular activating system is the brain's filtering system. It allows the relevant, useful things in that we need to be aware of. So when we tell ourselves we don't have enough time, the brain goes, all right, cool, that's our reality. Let's look for the evidence for that. Although I don't think the brain is quite as like gobby as that. But anyway, the brain is now looking for evidence to back you up, to be like, she's right, she hasn't got enough hours in the day. Now, you've probably seen this in action, even if you weren't aware of the neuroscience behind it, when somebody has mentioned something to you for the first time. Maybe it's a new brand or, I don't know, a new celebrity name or something. You go, oh, like, never heard of them. And then you see it everywhere. That isn't because it just magically appeared. That is just because your brain wasn't filtering that information in through before. And now it's become your reality because someone mentioned it to you. You go, all right, I'm going to start paying attention to that now. So this is why your perception creates your reality. So if you're going around saying there's just not enough hours in the day, well, you're right. There's not going to be. So again, you need to reframe this. You need to reframe it into, actually, I do have enough hours in the day for the things that matter to me, for my values, for my priorities. And this also touches on my concept of return on time. It's a bit like ROI, but not for your money, for your time. And I've got another video on that actually. So I'll link that down below for you, because you don't need more hours. You just need to prioritize better and focus on the things that are going to serve you and add value to your life more. And these are the ROT tasks. Okay, so quick recap for you. The 3 toxic time mindsets that are affecting you are the all nothing mindset, the perfectionism mindset, and the not enough hours mindset. So I would love to know from you, which one has got you and which one are you going to be working on to change today? Because here's the thing. Before you dive into the planning tools and before you dive into the practicalities of time management, you have to get your time management mindset right first. And that comes part of realizing what mindset you're falling victim to and changing it. Because if you don't shift these toxic time mindsets, it doesn't matter what practical tips I give you or someone else gives you, things aren't going to shift unless your mindset shifts first. Fix the mindset and then everything else will follow. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please give it a like, please subscribe, because every Monday I drop new videos like this to help you unfuck your flow and take action. My name is Dartnell. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Not enough. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're screening. Mindsets. Mindsets. That don't make sense. Drop a comment in the below.